I just finished watching Normal People a little bit ago, and heard about this show the last handful of years. Heard a lot of good things about it. Figured it was going to be something that I got really into, so I was kind of saving it. But now that my Hulu subscription is about to run out, I was like, fuck it. There's this. I need to watch it finally, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a really amazing, realistic depiction of not only relationships at a young age, but when how tough relationships can be because of just all sorts of things happening externally, whether it's people's personal home lives or certain opportunities that we all have as individuals with our careers or anything like that. This show the first few episodes will make you feel, damn, I'm like, if you're single like myself, there's the first few episodes of this show will make you feel like, damn, I'm single, and then the last few episodes will make you feel, fuck yeah, I'm single. I've never felt so, I've never felt such a mix of missing being in a relationship, and also this show is just such a blatant reminder of how messy they can be and how fucking hard they are. Like, it's fucking so hard just to not only keep the relationship going, but be able to show up and be involved in something like that with somebody else when you have so much shit to deal with, and that at that age the show starts when they're basically like seniors in high school and ends when they're like finishing college and really like starting to move on with their lives. And I'm just a heads up, any of these videos I do from now on, I gotta just put right in the beginning, like there are gonna be some spoilers, obviously. So I don't think I can really I've realized I don't think I can do reviews without it, really getting into. I feel like a lot of these videos I've done are too vague, and I talk about things that I like, but I don't really get into like the details that I want to talk about. So yeah, spoiler alert, if you've never seen this show, you should definitely go watch it. You can literally watch it in a day. It's so quick. There's something I will say about like BBC shows is what I've noticed, what I've heard is like they get insanely to the point. Like, I've never seen a show have so much detail while being also succinct, very succinct, however you want to fucking pronounce that, and efficiently told. It's so efficiently told while also like taking its time somehow, and I'm shocked at how well they pulled that off. They pulled off knowing when to keep things moving, and then knowing when to slow them down. That pace of that, the pacing of that, where there are a lot of each episode has a lot of a lot of progression, and it wraps up a lot of things each time, and just makes you want to keep watching, because like I basically burned through the last few days. I watched like 2 episodes within the week, and then watched like 10 yesterday, and then watched like watched like 8 yesterday, and then watched the last 2 today. It was like 12 total. So yeah, I did that all completely wrong. Doesn't matter. But the point is, I watched it in the last few days, and it's easy to. It was easy to want to burn through it, because I just kept like feeling the frustration for the characters. I mean, Jesus Christ, Connell and Marianne, like I feel for both of them so much. I was really wanting to see what happened with their own careers and their personal lives with their families as well. Like, Jesus Christ, Marianne's family, they're such pieces of shit. Her brother is a literal like dog shit person, and that's because he just feels like a fuck up in his own life, and he's one of these people that's just toxic and horrible to her, really mean to her, and just a literal piece of shit. And her mother is the biggest cunt I've ever seen in TV, in any TV show ever, any story ever. I mean, at the fucking end, basically, where like at the end of the show, where Marianne and her like they don't fucking, they basically like stop talking or start to separate from each other's lives, and her mom walks past her and doesn't even fucking acknowledge her, doesn't say hi to her or anything. It's fucking, her mom is such a heartless cunt, And while Connell's relationship with his mother is solid, he's got a lot of issues with knowing how to express himself or just knowing how to open up because he's so he's definitely just one of these shy people. He's just like a shy guy, a shy person who is who really, like, it takes him a while to just figure out who he is, kind of thing. So they both just have so many things going on with like a lot of I don't even want to say personal struggles, just real, like, all sorts of traumatic things that happen to them throughout the episodes, throughout all this entire story. Basically, like, there's so much life that impacts them, both, again, as individuals, and that how they coincidentally end up in and out of each other's lives is a big part of that too, as far as, like, going to the same college and all that stuff. There's an episode where one of Connell's very close friends, when he's grown up, commits suicide, and it really just absolutely, like, destroys him for a little while there. And he's just stuck in a depression. I really love that they showed that, just how, like, how they really show the highs and lows. They both get scholarships at one point. They're both succeeding. They both succeed so much in their own personal careers and have all these highs in life as well. But then out of nowhere, like, his close friend when he was younger, and is committing suicide. And it's horrible. Like, what like how that affects him. They're both so lovable. They're both such lovable characters, and you understand them while also being frustrated by them. Like, in the beginning, when Connell is, like, afraid to be public with their relationship, he's literally, like, consistently, like, hooking up with Marianne, and they're just so into each other, and you can tell, like right off the bat, you could tell, like, they're literally, like, in love and have this solid chemistry, and because of the pressure of his peers and his friends. That's such a real part of my favorite part of this show when it comes to the realism. And I'm curious, I'd love to read the book at some point to see how all these scenes are in the text as well. I love how much their friends or the groups of people that they are with in their social circles, like are this huge impact on not only their relationships, but, like, how they meet the other people that they date when they're not together, and all that stuff that's all very true, as far as, especially if you're people that are all in the same classes in college, or you're always kind of crossing paths in that way. That's just very accurate. That's so accurate to what exploring what dating is like when you're young, and if you don't, like, I know this all too well, if you don't leave the city that you grew up in, you're going to be, crossing a lot of paths with the same people, I believe even when they do go to college, I don't know how far they are, but they're not necessarily in another country, like, they're still in Ireland, so they stay, just in their areas, and that's very accurate to how that shit is at that age, especially, like, high school into college is so much of, like, not even people, like, all dating each other, but like, people you interact with directly, or, like, the social circles you are in 100% impact all of this shit. And so it's just so I was so pissed at him in the beginning, basically, for him hiding her from everyone, or trying to, like, keep it this secret, and so, like, freaking out about what others will think, because he's clearly not able to process his emotions himself. He's so focused on rugby and whatever. Like, they're so focused on school throughout the whole series. They're reading books and studying and working so hard at university, and it's incredible to like, it's nuts how much that you see how much they care about that stuff. So that's a big part of why he's so apprehensive about going public with her in the very beginning. And I just remember being so, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, she's, like, she's clearly an amazing person for you, and clearly, like, you guys work well together, but that's how, like, some people are. Like, some people feel really weird. I know what that's like on the other side, at least. Like, someone I dated in high school was, like, so afraid to go public with it, or was like, just like very much trying to like keep it. People love that too. Like that's just for some reason people are just turned on by like hidden secretive love. That it's there are a lot of frustrations with Marianne, as well as how much she's a doormat with her family, and you see that's like you see how much that affects her, like what she's into sexually and how she's into submission and being treated like less than in some ways, because that's like in the most fucked up way, like how she associates being loved, as far as that's like all she's received from her family, and those are the people that are supposed to love her. All that stuff like makes so much sense for the characters, and they like the writer. This is why I'm curious to read the book as well, is because the writer she did such a good job with making sure to get into every like layer of these two characters, and that's a big part of that. And you can see even when Marianne is kind of with when she's into that kind of submissive, that sexual kink, or she's like more into that when she's with other people, as opposed to when she's with Connell, and that's just because she feels like that was an interesting contrast with like, okay, because she doesn't really feel love for these other boyfriends that she has to like get some sort of sexual gratification out of it or something out of it, kind of thing. So I just found that interesting, that it's like, oh, that of course she's into that masochism shit, as opposed to as far as like with how that directly is related to her home life. I love how beautiful the this is one of those shows where obviously the sex scenes and the nudity is like not only justified, but like so necessary in order to feel like you're literally there with the characters and experiencing all those intimate personal moments in their relationship, Connell and Marianne mainly. But what I loved was seeing how the show, especially, I'm sure the book does this well too, but the show was so good at like really making you feel the difference in them like making love, Marianne and Connell like being seriously like into each other, and like how making love and having sex feel like, and how they're completely separate, was one of the most amazing things that this show pulled off. Like when they're with other people, it's like, yeah, they're having sex, but it's so not, it's just significantly less like powerful. Like you can feel how powerful their closeness is, and how I mean, Jesus Christ, Paul Mescal and Daisy Edgar Jones are insanely, like their chemistry is another. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like that kind of acting when it comes to like telling like a love story. I haven't seen anything like that was so believable and that powerful in a very long time. And I just wanted to obviously point that out, that that's such a huge part of the show, are all the sex scenes, but like you really just, you feel like you're right there with the characters the entire time, and that's such a big part of it. While I'm on that topic, the music in this show, not only is the soundtrack solid, they got Angelus by Elliott Smith. Second episode, they like sold me on. I was like, all right, this is they know what they're fucking doing if they got like Elliott Smith in this bitch. But I thoroughly loved the soundtrack, but and not only that, I loved the way the actual score itself, all of the music that was made for the show. It's been so long that I've heard music that is so synonymous with how being in love feels, and the heartbreak of how it feels. There's like a scene where she's like telling him, they're like having tea or whatever at a cafe, and she's literally telling Connell like, they've been broken up for a while or whatever the hell, or not together for a little while, and like she's with somebody, and she's like telling him how he's into like dominating her and inflicting pain on her. And she's like, do you really want to hear this? And he's just like, well, yeah, tell me. And she tells like him, like, like just like little detail, like not too much, but like little detailed things, and like what he likes, what her new boyfriend likes to do to her when he's fucking her. And it's just so, the music that plays during that scene is like all these strings and all this like this music that's just, it's so dramatic. Like the music either feels like synonymous with love and that escape that you feel with someone when you're really just absolutely crazy about someone, and that like what that joy of what love can feel like, and then also the absolute heart-wrenching aspects of it too. The score, absolutely perfect, absolute perfection. I thoroughly enjoyed how much this show made me feel like I don't have to hold myself in contempt, or I don't necessarily look at any of my past relationships now with the same like jaded like kind of shitty attitude after watching this. I mean, the actual title of the show, Normal People or whatever, so it's so like so lovely and how accurate it is, and how normal and how like just like how common that really is as far as people just not only having on and off relationships, but being absolutely in love with somebody, and it just being hard, and life just kind of getting in the way with that shit. Past lives. It's nuts watching this movie after something like Past Lives, because the themes in that are so identical. Like they're so similar in how life and relationships are so hard to balance both of them, you know, things are kind of there's so much random chaos with both of those things, and that's just how it is, and that's such a beautifully depressing thing, you know, like these movies make me, and that movie and this show made me feel. It reminded me of how storytelling can be, you know, beautifully depressing. It's sad. This whole show was fucking such a bummer, man. Like, it was such a sad fucking story. But I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I can only hope to make something like this eventually, because it's the kind of story where I feel like I could not make something similar to that, but the simplicity of the dialogue and what's actually happening in it made me feel that, you know, having a very like a direct approach with how you want to have characters talk to each other. That's kind of how this show inspired me. Is all the conversations feel just very they just feel very normal. No, I'm not trying to use that word, obviously. No, they feel very typical. I liked how the show felt like a new, or the story itself felt like a really refreshing take on something that I've already seen or probably experienced. This is the kind of story that's usually a side story within an actual main, like, crazy dramatic plot that's happening. You know, this show feels like it focused way more on just all the things that don't get enough time on screen when it comes to love story, you know, unless it is a romance story, which I guess that's what all romance stories are. I don't know. That might have sounded stupid, but this show felt like it was just focusing on all the things that most stories don't when it comes to telling a love story. And it felt very personal. I'd be very surprised if the author if this wasn't like an actual experience that they had, or if it wasn't at least inspired by experiences that she had. Suppose there's not much else to talk about with it though. Normal People, it's making me like appreciate how simple my life feels in comparison to that, or it makes me kind of appreciate that I'm not. It almost makes me appreciate being older. Is what this show made me feel. It made me feel old, and it made me feel because all these feelings that I was experiencing, it feel like so in the past, or, you know, even recently I was experiencing something similar to this show, but it reminded me of how far I've come in my own personal life, and how this show I feel like I've had multiple different relationships that felt like that, or I don't know. It's reminded me of why being young and having to juggle life and love and relationships and friendships and family, and how all of that is like so much at that age. It feels like it's so much, and the show made me feel like I'm getting older, because it all felt like something that I've like I've been there, done that kind of thing. Like it all felt like a mirror in how, in all sorts of different experiences that I've had personally with my own relationships with ex-girlfriends and hookups or whatever the hell. But still worth watching if anyone's curious to watch this show. It's definitely worth it, and I'm gonna be thinking about it for a while, because now I'm just thinking about how sad it all was. It was so sad, but sadness is so powerful, and I'm gonna be thinking about this show for the next week probably, just because of how much it moved me. It was one of the most moving and heartbreaking love stories I've ever seen in my life, and I'm wondering when the next romance story that I watch is gonna make me feel this way again.